Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Okay, first card that we have out is Ten of Cups. It looks like you have been, for some of you, taking your time. I'm seeing Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so this can be like you're spending time doing things that you enjoy. You're spending time doing things that you feel like fill up your cups, whether this be like I'm meeting my needs, or I feel like I'm re-energizing myself somehow, or I'm spending more time doing things that I love to be doing, like those sorts of things. Key things that you want to be doing, things that feel like it's giving back to you internally. Helping you come around, some of you. Okay. I'm looking at Judgment and I'm looking at Ten of Wands. This feels like you're looking into your workload, or you're looking into your stressors, looking into things that you have going on. But I feel like this is more of an assessment of like, now that I've been spending time doing things that feel good to me, or things that feel joyful to me, or things that feel replenishing to me, or things that like satisfy my inspiration or allow me to explore that or explore my joy or like have fun, those sorts of things. Because of doing that, it's like stuff you like doing, stuff that you care about, stuff that makes you feel like satisfied, fulfilled, those sorts of things. Having Judgment and having Ten of Wands looks like holding this up to that. Now I'm looking at all of the things that feel could like take me away from that. So it can be all the stuff that I'm doing, is that really necessary? Do I need to be stressing myself out? Is there a different way to approach this, a different way to break this down? Like, what am I obligating myself in doing? Like, what's a sacrifice versus something that I can just like pull out completely and not have to do this? So it can be like those sorts of things. So I think you're just like looking into the things at this point that either stress you out or may feel overwhelming to have on your plate, or could just feel like too much for you right now. Stuff that you feel like takes away from the other stuff that you want to be doing or that you prefer to be doing, or stuff that feels like happier for you. Yeah, more preferable in general. So because of experiencing things that bring you joy to be involved in, now you're looking at some other stuff and being like, wow, this other stuff really stresses me out, or like doing that thing repeatedly feels draining to me. You know, these types of things. Or it can be like, why do I make myself do this all the time? Or I think that this is an unreasonable workload. It can be like those sorts of things. When I say workload, I just mean like it can even be in your personal life, where you're like, why do I sign myself up for all of these things? Or like, am I making it more difficult? Or like, are these things really necessary? Like that. Can also have to do with your interpersonal relationships as well, because I'm seeing this. So this can be like the other people that you work with within your life, like your relationships in general, whether these be your like work relationships or your personal relationships. Your relationship with yourself as well is included. Am I making things more difficult for myself? Unnecessarily. Yeah, look. Seeing the things that you don't need to be doing, and actually looking at this when you're like, this is extra, I'm really doing the most here unnecessarily, and I don't have to be doing that. Judgment is you actually looking at these things and be like, why am I doing that to myself? It's my choice. I'm the one that's making myself do that, nobody else is. So it's really taking a look at that. Judgment is like, I want to see what's actually going on here. Like, I want to cut through. I want to cut through to the truth. Like, I want to get to the bottom of this. What's happening here? So that's what Judgment is about. Like, the most honest examination, where it's like, no, I'm really ready to look at this now at this point, because I don't want to keep living like that. I don't want to keep finding myself in this position, like, you know, every 10 months I'm having a breakdown. You know, it could be like that kind of thing, where you get to the point where you're like, this has become cyclical in some way. And I may be doing little things, but it's not big enough to actually address what's going on here. So it can be that type of thing. I'm seeing this. honest self-reflection necessary. That means too, like, things where it's like I'm piling this on and piling this on and piling this on, stressing myself out, and then I feel like I have no other thing to do than I think it's just getting down to being honest with yourself here. And not stopping doing things that actually, like, it's cutting out these things that are unnecessary, like the things that feel draining, the stuff that you don't really have to be doing. Because something is going on, like, this is why you're feeling this right now. Something is going on with the Ten of Cups where you feel liberated in some way, you feel happy in some way, you feel free in some way. Like, something is going on where you feel like you have made contact with some type of light in your life. And it's something that feels like things are technicolor now when you connect with this, okay? So it can be like a vision of yours, it can be like something that you've been getting into lately, it can be this like dream or this vision that you have, but like whatever this is, it's something that when you're connected to this place within yourself, like everything is gonna be just fine. It's like that place within you where it's like, I would love to feel like this all the time. So whatever this thing is, some of you it's like a flow state that you've gotten into. Now that that's going on, it feels like it's brought you to a place where you're actually able to look at something and maybe multiple things that have truly been just stuff that you don't want to be carrying anymore, and like for really no reason. It's like you've assigned yourself these things without consciously realizing, and you're now taking the time to be like, why am I doing all of this? So it's that moment where you realize that like you're both the teacher and also the student, and as the student I think you've been feeling quite overwhelmed, and you're like, wow, I'm the one that's deciding the curriculum for myself. But it may have been something going on where you were like in survival mode or something else, so you couldn't really look at this because you were just too stressed out, you know? The stress was stressing you out. But I think like you're seeing really like, where was I not being in full truth with myself? Like, what were these, like, lies that I was telling to myself? With the Seven of Swords, it can be a lack of honest self-reflection. It can be avoiding things, too. Avoiding looking at things. It can also be, like, letting our fears run the show of, like, yeah, I really don't like doing this, or it's really too much for me, but I'm still going to force myself for some reason because I'm scared of the alternative. You know, that type of stuff with the Seven of Swords. But then it's like this shadow behavior that we don't actually align with. So you would know because you look at that and you feel like this is something that would impact both your solar plexus energy and also your throat chakra. Stuff that impacts your solar plexus energy would be this can even be like shame that you would be feeling that's associated with this, because you have a certain like standard that you believe is important to be living by, and this would be you not meeting this in some way for yourself, where you're like, I know better than that, or like I can do better than that, or like why do I keep doing this to myself? It's something like that just like wouldn't sit well with you, where you're like, I know that I'm in the shadow with this, like that type of thing. And I think that it came in the form of you continuing to do something that you knew was no longer in alignment with you. And you would know because you would have feelings like frustration. It could be like frustration, resentment, anger, feeling drained, lack of satisfaction, misery for some of you. It's like staying somewhere that you weren't meant to be staying. And you knew that, but you could have been keeping yourself in some type of cycle. Let me see if I can get a clarifier. Actually, we'll pull from this deck. Yes. I don't really need to pull anything. What I'm seeing is that there could have been like fear / material earthly attachment of some kind that was keeping you, but it was like very much an illusion when you step back and look at this, and you would know that, but you could have been avoiding taking a look at this until now. Because you could have just been feeling like really drained and trying to manage that, and you were like, I don't have the bandwidth to be looking into this now, but now you do. So I'm seeing you be ready for like this bigger truth now, this bigger understanding. So yeah, some of you guys, you're going to be leaving a situation, or you're transitioning out of something, or you're making up your mind now. Or like ready to see something for what it is too. Admit to yourself, that can also be part of this. Investing in your pursuit of happiness and what had been stopping you from doing so before. So that's what this was. Something that was stopping you. Shadow getting in your way here. There could have been like a lack of belief in what this was that you wanted to manifest, a perceived lack of support, perceiving there being some type of judgment, self-judgment, criticism. Can also feel like the universe is not supporting me, like I'm gonna have to figure all of this out myself. Things just don't work out for me like that. Can be like a lack of faith, like those types of things. Stuff that has to do with the heart chakra being shut down. Like not trusting you. I'm seeing something about train tracks here. Okay. Some of you, you're leaving a work situation. I'm hearing good riddance. Something about coworkers. That's not for everybody, but that is coming through for some. Something about like a working situation, but that doesn't have to mean like work as in a job, but for some of you it is, yes. It was something that was feeling really stressful, where there was like supposed to be collaboration or like goodwill or like mutual support or working as like a group or a system of some sort. This can also like be a personal situation where it's like you were trying to work something out with another person. There's something about like working on things or working something out, or supposed to be working together. Even like for some of you, this can be you with multiple coworkers. For others of you, it can be like you and a partner trying to work something out. So it's just something like that, where there's supposed to be like a spirit of collaboration. But something was becoming like way too heavy, and for some of you, you perceive this as being toxic as well. Something that you didn't want to do anymore. There could have also been this feeling of not wanting to look into something, because after Three of Pentacles and Hermit here, which is like really needing to work with this part of yourself that is self-reflective and is processing things and is present to what's going on in your internal world. Having Four of Cups over here can almost be like, I don't want that insight, and like pushing yourself away. So pushing away like self-reflective techniques or work that would be done, or things that bring about more of a sense of awareness. That could have been something where you were like, I don't want to see it, you know, like the truth being brought to you and you being like, nope, don't come over here. I don't want to see what that is. Like that type of stuff. But then getting to this point of being like, I don't want to be lying to myself anymore, or like I don't want to be like not living in my truth anymore, like not living in my potential anymore, like this whole thing. Because it felt like it was your shadow being like, be resistant to this, or like don't grab that opportunity, because then you're gonna have to make changes, or then you're gonna have to realize this, and then what's that gonna mean for you? It's like those types of things. I'm seeing some strong Virgo energy here. I'm also looking at Cancer on the bottom of the deck. Remember, all of us have Virgo in our charts. I'm also seeing Pluto here too. You're coming out on top is what I'm seeing. We have the Six of Wands here. So it seems like something could have been out of whack and you are harmonizing things again. So that's where I'm seeing you be. That's what I'm seeing is going on here. It feels like, especially too, after being in a bit of a like slump or something like that, like that was the energy before, it could have been hard motivating yourself through this, but you would have felt like you were in some way denying your happiness, like denying yourself your happiness. By investing in things that like weren't the real truth for you, like weren't your truth. And there could have, hi babe, there could have also been some type of, there could have also been some type of investing in things that you felt like were taking you further away from the light in some way. And when I say light, I just mean like awareness and truth and equanimity and like things like that. And that can also be like investing in things that you feel like are in the disinterest of yourself and your purpose and that type of thing, you know. But it would have been potentially, like, as one may have thought, easier to be doing this, but you're actually like abandoning your pursuit of happiness by doing this. So at the end of the day, not really, you know, like what type of payoff would that be? So anyway, it feels like at this point now you're coming around in a way that I don't think you were necessarily ready for before, but now I'm seeing you get to this point where you're like, I'm not taking these offers from my shadow anymore. I don't want to be doing that anymore. I was doing that before. I saw what that was doing for me, or not doing for me, and how I felt because of that, and that's not how I'm trying to be. That's not how I'm trying to live my life. So this feels like sort of a big internal like experience that you've been going through, and now getting to this point of the Six of Wands shows you moving through something. It's like, now I'm remembering what's important, I'm feeling back in touch with that. But I think you had been like feeling out of it for a while, and there may have been like some type of like impulse to be giving your energy to stuff that took you away from this. So whatever it was that was taking you away actually from like joy and fulfillment and passion and happiness and inspiration and intrigue and interest, it's like stuff that would have been taking you away from that. But now ready to really get get back in touch, or like feel that sense of connection with self. All right, anything else? You could have also been like taking on or taking in something that was not in alignment with you as well. And you would know because you didn't feel into it and it was something that was stressing you out. And for some of you, this has to do with like certain people that you were interacting with, or like work situations, or like could have felt like a working situation within your personal life. And it was something that actually wasn't agreeing with you, but you may have not been doing anything about it. Like you may have been staying within it and like not taking action, is what it seems like was happening. But it was something that was creating like more and more stress within your life, to the point where you could have been like, I don't think that I can do this anymore. Like it could have gotten to the point of being very, very overwhelming. And it had to do with what you were spending your time and your energy doing. And you getting to this point where you're like, this got too much that I had to actually take a look at it. And you're seeing like the culprit was you, you know, like it was your shadow. And it was you not being honest with yourself about something here. So you could have been trying to like convince yourself like, this will make me happy. Like this is what'll make me happy. This is what'll make me happy. And it actually wasn't. But it could have been something that, like, if the devil was connected with this, it could have been something where you're like, I think that it might, but like you weren't really, really looking into it, and then it wasn't actually, you know? So yeah. All right. We're going to leave the reading here. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.